Hey, everybody. So I just finished watching The Real Housewives of Potomac. And although I don't usually do any reviews on the show, I just can't hold my tongue tonight on this particular episode. And I felt myself getting triggered last week based on after the incident happened with Monique pulling Candiace's hair, right? And it turned into a melee. I knew that this week we were in for a whole lot of scolding of another grown woman. And they didn't disappoint. It was torture to me watching the hypocrisy in a lot of these women and acting like they have never seen an altercation in all the years that they have been on this show. I was sick of it. With maybe like 5 minutes in, I was ready to turn it off, but I decided to go ahead and watch it. And so as I go into this, I want to say this. Multiple things can be true at one time. I don't agree with physical violence when it came to Monique basically yanking her hair and coming for Candiace. But sometimes when people be asking for it, you got to be prepared that somebody going to give it to you. And Candiace has been kind of needling at Monique. Now, also, I think Candiace represented something else that was going on with Monique. And Monique has been pretty coy and really hasn't wanted to address too much of it. But as you know, there's been some behind the scenes stuff going on with a lot of rumors about Monique's marriage. And Charisse being the basically who started all of this, right? And so seeing Monique and Charisse together, knowing that Monique invited Charisse, I think there is just, Monique has some feelings about how Candiace moves. And Candiace, in my eyes, she probably just saw Charisse in that moment. She just like bang, 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 pop, 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 right? But no matter how it goes, I don't want to sit here and act like I condone physical violence, but sometimes shit just happens, right? We human and things happen. And sometimes people, if you ain't never been in a situation where somebody just kept talking and talking and talking and talking, and it made you just get up out your seat. I don't know. Lucky you. But I just know that sometimes shit happens and that is the way it be. Now, that being said, this episode to me was triggering because I saw all these women basically try to, scold this other woman that's been a part of their group. And for some reason, they all have amnesia about how they have turned up and acted out in the last several seasons that they've been on here. If I can recall, Miss Candiace, did she not threaten Ashley with a knife like a season ago or something like that? Haven't there been several altercations between some of these women, and all of a sudden they are acting like, you would think Monique committed a murder the way they are acting tonight. I mean, it was just so sickening to me for them to act like Monique's hair pulling set black women back 400 years. That is how they were acting about it. Now, I felt like Monique was skirting and skating around how things went, right? She did her little moonwalk and kind of skirted around the whole thing about it. But Candiace also pissed me off in the fact that as she was sitting there with that therapist, she wanted to act like she has no idea why Monique would have ever considered doing that. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't say anything wrong. She was just standing there. And that is a crock of shit too. All right. So I can honestly say, like I said, two things could be true at once. Both women were crocks of shit when it came to explaining it away. Right. But at the end of the day, seeing these women sit around and attempt to scold one woman was sickening to me. Robin barely spoke 2 words this season, and all of a sudden she's trying to, she acting like she the principal at the school. That pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Then you have Wendy, who, you know, I have tried to like Wendy, but I feel like she is just one of those folks that's just so, like, obsessed with, you know, worrying about what white people think. She's always worried about the white gaze. Last week, I saw where her thoughts lied when she said something along the lines of, that's why they don't want black women at the table. This kind of behavior right here is why black women aren't invited to the table. No, Wendy, that's not it. They don't want us at the table because we're black, heifer. How do you not understand that? But again, this is the, you know, what she got, like 5 degrees. You know, she constantly telling us how she's on TV, she's on CNN, but you can't figure that out. You can't figure out that the reason why black women ain't at the table is because they don't want us at the table. Hello. And Wendy to be so new and to sit here and again attempted to scold Monique. I recall just a couple of episodes ago, heifer, you was turning up and getting extra angry. You talk about angry black woman. You was getting extra angry with Ashley because Ashley brought her baby to the lake house. Like, I mean, again, the amnesia is sickening to me with these women. They act like they ain't never seen Real Housewives of Atlanta. They act like, and as far as white women, or if you were so worried about the white gays, have you not watched the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Have you not watched the Real Housewives of New Jersey with Teresa shaking the table and flipping the damn table over? And those women fought all the goddamn time. So here you are trying to act like it's so crazy that a black woman could get outside of herself for a moment, that the flesh could take over, the emotions could take over, and she get angry enough to pull another woman's hair. And all of a sudden it's like, you didn't set us back 400 years. And I just hate that respectability politics bullshit. That just bothers me so much that they sat there and did all of that, acting like they ain't never turned up ever. And Gizelle, I'm saving the best for last. Gizelle's ass. I know Gizelle didn't sit her ass up here with her notes. She seemed to recall all the times that Monique has said something, has threatened, has whatever. Then she opens her mouth to say some bullshit like along the lines of, you know, Jamal and I have images to maintain. We have images out here. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? Jamal Bryant, the man with, according to your daddy, with 7 or 8 baby mamas, has an image to maintain. Y'all sitting here talking about the stereotypes of black people, the stereotypes of black women. The man that you have decided to date again and make your boyfriend, the man that your kids don't even want you to be with, is a walking, talking stereotype. So how on earth is what Monique did setting you back or ruining your reputation? Girl, your reputation was ruined down to the church house when this man was out here giving out his penis with his Roman spirit. That is what your image is. That is all people think about when they think of you and Jamal. Okay? So please stop. Please stop. And when I was watching it last week, all I could think about to myself is these women sitting here acting like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Who, what, when, where, why? When all y'all do is stir the pot on this show. That's all y'all do. When you signed up for this show, you knew goddamn well what this show was about. I'm sure you have watched the other franchises and you know that sometimes people turn up. Sometimes emotions run high. And just because y'all got y'all asses in DC don't mean that y'all classy based or y'all any did in Funky Dynevas or classy based or act like that y'all better than other people and you don't get outside yourself. Because I recall many, many times when y'all were nasty to one another. I remember when Robin wanted to beat the shit out of Ashley because Ashley came to her and talking about what Juan was out here doing. We are not going to sit here and act like y'all ain't gotten to that point before. That you ain't never got outside of yourself before. It happens. Monique made an error in judgment, right? But sometimes that shit happens. Like I said, sometimes you got to stop egging people on. I ain't saying it's right, but sometimes when you asking for it, people will deliver on it. And you just gotta you gotta watch it. Because sometimes people will, and words do trigger. You may not want to admit it, people may not want to admit it, but words can be triggering. If somebody constantly just kind of like needling you, sometimes words can trigger and cause a moment. And it did. But I just was not feeling this whole intervention type of shit where they all just sit around and they are acting like this woman did something so bad. Like, okay, how are you going to change your I don't want to be around you anymore. I'm like, Heifer, are you serious? Are y'all really serious with the amnesia? I was sickened by this entire episode. And like I said, probably more sickened at this whole idea of what white people will think of us. Because black women aren't allowed to ever be angry. They are not allowed to ever have a moment. They're just not allowed that. We're not granted that. And we have to make sure that we look a certain way in front of white people. And the fact that they had this conversation tonight, in my opinion, led by Wendy, for the most part, was just, I wasn't feeling it. I'm sorry, but I was not feeling it. I wasn't. Now, like I said, several things can be true. Like I said, several things can be true. And I hope that Monique, I don't know if she's leaving the show. I have a feeling that she won't. And I don't necessarily know how they will, I guess, move forward. But supposedly they're like, well, how about you just leave the group for a while? First of all, I don't even think that these women are like real friends. They're like reality TV friends. Like they get together to record. And then when they're not like filming, they go their separate ways. So as far as her not being around those women, I just think that none of them really be around each other anyway, to be perfectly honest with you. All right. But I just wasn't feeling this whole thing. I just was so triggered by tonight's episode and everybody acting all high and mighty as if they don't do shit. Or for the last several seasons that it's been on, they ain't never encountered another woman on this show and threatened to drag them. Or had gotten to that point. Again, Candiace and Ashley just last season. Now all of a sudden it's, I'm just so innocent. We've never done anything. I just can't believe that this happened. You would have just thought that Monique had committed a murder tonight the way they was doing these damn speeches. It was too much. Too much. Okay? Too much. And, you know, I was one of those people that just did not care for Monique when she first came on the show. I just really was not a Monique fan. She cool now because I guess I gotten used to her. But I wasn't a Monique fan. But, you know, I just had enough. And it's going to be more fighting with the men later on. So are y'all going to have something to say about the men and how the men set y'all back? All the white men are fighting, right? Or whatever, whoever fighting. So what the hell is going, tonight was too much. Tonight was too much. But we have got to stop worrying about what white people think of us. I mean, goddamn, you would have thought that this woman, Monique, should have just dragged her if she was going to get this kind of, she should have really just beat her ass if she was going to get this kind of scolding. She should have just went all the way in if this is how it was going to be with all the goddamn speeches. It was just too much. But anyway, if y'all watch the show, what do y'all think about this whole thing? What did you guys think about tonight's episode and all the stuff that these women were saying? I just feel like it's a whole lot of hypocrisy here, especially from Queen of Hypocrisy, Gizelle Bryant. She was just too much for me tonight. I just could not stomach Gizelle tonight. But anyway, I ain't going to make this too long. I tried not to anyway. I just had to get that off my chest. Let me know what you guys see. I'm talking over. I can't even talk right. Let me know what you guys think about tonight's episode. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.